Hi, welcome to the Organization Root Administrator, Vendors video session. Sometimes a staffing organization may face a crisis due to unavailability of resources with a specific skill set in its existing resource pool. In this situation, the staffing organization may decide to take the required specific skilled resources from other organizations on contract, who are considered as resource vendors or, in short, vendors, to the staffing organization. Staffing organizations taking resources from vendors need to maintain the vendor details, contracts with the vendors, and assign vendor resources from the vendor's resource pool to vendor contracts. Though after assigning a vendor resource to a contract, the vendor resource becomes part of the staffing organization's resource pool, but the staffing organizations do not own the vendor resources. Vendor resources are owned by their respective vendors. WFMA also provides the capability to the vendors for maintaining their own resources and resource pools through respective vendor portals. Vendors is a sub-menu item under Vendor Management menu item. Click on Vendors sub-menu item to get to the user interface for managing vendor-related details. As you see, these vendors are created earlier for the staffing organization. Click on the Add button to get to the user interface for creating a new vendor organization. There are some important fields in creating a vendor organization. Tax type. Staffing organization root administrators set various tax types applicable to their staffing organizations. Tax rate related to the vendor is factored in the calculation of the bills for the vendors. While creating a vendor organization, staffing root administrator sets the appropriate tax type for its vendors here. Payment threshold days. Staffing organization root administrator sets a value of this parameter, discussing with the vendor. This is a controlling parameter for tracking the bill's payment by the staffing organizations to their vendors. WFMA keeps track of all the unpaid bills with respect to the payment threshold days and the current date. If a staffing organization does not pay within the payment threshold days, WFMA highlights the bill record with red color, and WFMA keeps sending out daily automatic email to the staffing organization root administrator reminding of releasing the payment till the payment is done by the staffing organization. Enter details of the placement agent organization going to be created. Notice that only upon filling in all the mandatory fields, the Submit button gets activated. The record is saved by clicking the Submit button. Upon saving the record, the vendor contact person becomes the vendor root administrator for the vendor organization, and WFMA sends out an automatic email at the vendor contact email with the login credentials. Click on the View link of an existing vendor to see the details of the vendor organization. Click on the Update link of an existing vendor to get to the user interface for updating the details of the vendor organization. Notice certain fields, which the staffing organization root administrator cannot edit. These can be edited by the respective vendor administrator through his portal. Click on Update button to update any changes made. Staffing organization root administrator can deactivate an active vendor through Deactivate action. On the other side, a deactivated vendor can be reactivated by staffing organization root administrator. On deactivation action, WFMA needs to check lots of data integrity for the subject vendor. Click on the Deactivate link to see a dialog box for confirming deactivation. As the note says, if the vendor organization is deactivated, no users of the organization will be able to log in, even if they have valid login credentials. However, upon reactivation, the vendor organization users will be able to function normally. Delete link is used for removing the vendor record physically, but it is a restrictive operation. WFMA checks if the vendor to be deleted is referred anywhere in the organization. If found referred, it does not allow removing the record. We have separate video sessions on vendor contracts. Thank you. See you in the next video.